Hello guys, welcome to my first Elder Scrolls Online video, okay? I recorded one, but my mic was not on, so I spent 30 minutes going through all of my skins, explaining half-assed where I got them from. I'm trying not to spend as long as I did on that one, but I've been playing the Elder Scrolls Online for a little bit now. On PC, I got it in 2020, but the last 3 months I really started to play. I got from like 600 to now 1,221 champion points, right? So I've been playing it quite a bit. Obviously the event helped with that, but I really want to get into like new stuff in the Elder Scrolls Online, have build a little community that I probably won't, because nobody likes me, okay? I'm gonna be showing you my skin collection. First of all, I'm gonna go over the skins that I don't have. It's only 3, well I guess 4, but 3 from dungeons and trials, well, from dungeons, that I will be getting relatively soon. I may make an update video. Spider Kith. Oh yeah, by the way, me butchering these names, I'm so sorry. I cannot speak. It's really a health condition. Also, if I look over here, this is where my monitor is. I'm making sure it's still recording. Okay, I don't want to have to redo this. I really don't. Sableman Beast, and then the Black Rose person. I'll get those. I'll make a video. I have all the writs for the Crystal Frost skin. I just don't think it's worth doing. I don't really like the skin, but maybe one day. Okay, so I'm gonna go in top to bottom. I'm gonna explain what a Challenger, what a Conqueror is. I may skip over some skins that, in my opinion, don't matter, like the Dracon's Vagrant, because well, it's shit. You just get it from a veteran dungeon. You can pub this. I pub this one. I pub this one. Even I'll talk a little bit about this one because I really like the skin. So I'm not gonna go every single skin. Okay, first skin here is Runes of Mazaton. Don't make fun of me for my hair. I need to go get a cut. I know it looks like a fucking. It looks awful. Okay, I know it does not look good. I need to go get a cut. Okay, so first skin is Runes of Mazaton Challenger. Okay. You get this from a dungeon. Okay, so a dungeon is 4-man content. You get a challenger. So what a challenger is in this game and what a conqueror is in this game. A conqueror is just completing something on veteran. A challenger is you're doing the no death on a dungeon, the speed run, and the hard mode, veteran hard mode, and the last boss. Okay. These can be pretty difficult on an unorganized group, and this one's not. It can be difficult. The good thing is you don't have to do them all at the same time. Okay. You don't have to. That would be a trifecta. There's a trifecta run on this one. There's not on this one. Like I said, I'm sorry if you don't like women's bodies. I probably should have did this on the dude because I'm not monetized anyway, but YouTube may not like this, but I have my graphical settings as low as I can get them to still make it look decent, so it doesn't look as, woo, But the game does it, so the game does it. I can't help it. It's not Baldur's Gate, okay? So, thankfully. The veteran hard mode on this is probably the most difficult thing to do on most things. The speedrun and no death is not too challenging because you can skip a lot of the trash, meaning like a lot of the enemies on this particular dungeon that is able to be skipped, and it won't count. The hard mode, if I can remember, is a boss who's going to kind of wrap in like trees, and it's gonna summon something else. But the most difficult part about it is there's gonna be totems all around the room. You're gonna have to assign these totems, or you can just go like wing it like we did in my group, and whoever's got blind just jumps like a damn ape, right? And then the person who's blind has to. They're not blind, but they won't be able to see which one's glowing. They're all kind of be glowing, and so one member in your group needs to see which one's glowing, and then they need to point it to you. If you attack the wrong one, then you die because you won't have time. I don't think if you attack the wrong one, you instantly die, but you have it's kind of a time limit where you kind of have to. Okay, it's not too difficult. It's one of my favorite looking skins. I rock this one on my DK all the time. I also may do build videos. I only have like 3 builds right now, only really 2 main builds, but I may do build videos in the future. Like I said, I just started playing this game like hardcore. I just got to my 100k parse. Okay, chill out. Next is Black Marrow Necromancer. This is a really fun one. The most difficult thing about this one's technically a little bit harder because I believe it's a little bit newer, maybe. But this one, you have to kill every mob, every enemy to get the no run, the speed death, and the speed run. Okay, so no death and speed run. You have to kill every mob. You don't have to do it all at the same time. The hard mode is probably the most difficult though, because of the final boss with some RNG. It's nowhere near like Fang Layer from the Worm Wizard personality, which, by the way, all I have to do is a no death. Somebody sold me last time. If you're watching, you know who you are. I'm just messing with you, Darth. But this one's cool. It covers up vampirism really, really well. Like I said, I just mispronounced that. Really, I'm retarded. My fault. It's gonna be hard to explain mechanics here. Just look up guides on them. I'm just showing you my collection. Okay. This one you get from one of the new dungeons. Yeah. This one's relatively simple. Falkreath Hold Challenger. This one's one of my favorite dungeons in the game because I love the kind of Skyrim Nordic aesthetic of it. Okay, it's one of my favorite aesthetics in the entire game, right? So with this one, it's the same basic premise. I don't remember if you have to get the no death. To get the no death or speedrun, if you can skip the mobs or not. I believe we skipped them, so I'm pretty sure you can skip them. Pretty sure you can. Don't quote me on that. Look it up before you do it. This one's, like I said, really cool because you get a fantastic DPS set called Pillar of Nirn here. So if you go into your collections, you go into your set items, and you go into DLC dungeons, Falkreath Hold, Pillar of Nirn. Fantastic set for DPSs. It's easy to proc because all you have to do is deal direct damage. So it's really, really fun, really easy. You can just farm it on normal. Okay. You don't have to go on veteran. I think veteran just drops purple gear, and purple, upgrading it to purple is not that expensive. It's upgrading to legendary that gets really, really expensive. Okay, you don't really have to. I'm sorry, I was just fixing something. The final boss in veteran hard mode can be a doozy if you're not communicating. So you're gonna be in a small little room, and there's gonna be pillars. There's gonna be a couple phases. There's gonna be kind of an ad phase where he turns, tucks in, I believe, and turns to shell, stone. Do not attack the boss when this happens. Okay, it's very important that you don't do this because, well, he's fucking invincible. He's gonna spawn ads, kill those ads. Ads meaning if you never played Elder Scrolls, you're really a big noob. Just enemies that spawn. Okay, kill those, and then you'll be good. The most important mechanic is kind of when he says something. If you have like the trackers for the add-ons, if you play PC, it's way easier. But he's gonna say a certain word. I don't remember the word. And you're gonna have to hide behind a pillar. Realistically, all your team needs to coordinate of what pillar you need to do. Remember, veteran hard mode will have 2 pillars in the left side already broken. That means even less mistakes you'll have to make. I don't think there's that much of a difference after that between veteran hard mode and hard veteran, normal veteran. So yeah. If you don't coordinate right, you won't have enough pillars and then you'll die. So you really want all 4 people. If you're doing it with 3-man, you can do it 3-man. You can do most dungeons 3-man, or we did it with a tank, 3 DPS. You don't really need a healer, okay? But you make sure you gotta do that, because if you don't, you're just gonna die. And please don't attack it during the stone phase. You know, I remember doing pledges once, and this high CP, like 2000 plus, was just attacking it during the stone phase. Quester, I don't know what he was doing. Trade guilds, social guilds. Okay, I'm not making fun of you do that. I don't know. I find it pretty funny. Oh my god. Next is Dramorthra skin. I ain't pronouncing this shit. This comes from veteran Maul of Lorkhain, I think. This is in Reaper's March. So if you go to your map, this is a pretty difficult one to pub. You're probably not gonna get. Well, I unlocked it pubbing because I got lucky. Tanks knew what they were doing, and Discord was required, and it took 4.5 hours to do. But it was really, really fun. There's all bosses here. Even the ad pools can be challenging if you don't know what you're doing as a tank, and DPSs and healers. The main boss that gives most people struggles just to save time is the twins. There's going to be a color swap mechanic. This is a very important mechanic to know. there's gonna be people gonna split. This is how I did it anyway. People split. So you got 6-6. One tank, one tank on both sides, one healer on both sides, and the rest DPS split. So 12 split is 6, right? I'm not that good at math, but I know that. So it's really important when you're doing this. When you assign a color, there's 3 swapping mechanics that can happen. Okay, these are the most difficult mechanics. If you get this down, you're good. To be honest, you don't need to just overly kill the boss. It's not a DPS race. People used to do this with 40k DPS. Okay, in a parse. This is a very old trial. Okay, very, very old trial. But the mechanics are challenging if you don't know what you're doing. So like I said, there's gonna be 3 color swap mechanics, if I can remember. If you know more about this, leave a comment, or may leave links in the description if you want to learn more about the trials. I really recommend you get into veteran level DLCs, hard modes, and trials and hard mode trials, because I'm beginning to get into that mess, and then eventually the trifectas and the trials. You know, I've only started taking it seriously around 700 CP, so that's about 2 months ago, and I have made huge improvements, and it really helps when you get out there and stop being antisocial, which this game has that's a whole different video I'll maybe make. Okay, yeah. But yeah, make sure when you're probably tanks will be calling this, he'll kind of throw up, I believe it's his sword or whatever, and then he'll have the mechanics. I'm a DPS, so I don't know. One day I'll get into healing and tanking. I definitely will, because I already have Necromancer, so that's a good off tank, right? So I'm getting off topic. This video is already probably only 11 minutes long, almost 12, so that ain't too bad. Okay, so like I said, there's 3 swapping mechanics if I can recall. There's going to be one that 3 people have to swap. There's going to be one that nobody has to swap, and there's going to be one that the entire group has to swap. If these 2 mechanics, the one that has to, the 3 people that has to swap, and the entire group has to swap, it's extremely important. That was my phone. It was extremely important to go clockwise. So, for example, let's say this is the entrance and this is the exit. Okay, so if you're in the group that goes entrance, if 3 people or the entire team is swapping, you would go this way. This is clockwise, right? This is clockwise. If you're in the back room, so not the back room, but the back of the room to the exit, you would go this way. If you go the opposite ways and collide with each other, you're gonna die. If the whole team is swapping, you also have to be really, really fast. The last boss required a little bit more DPS. This one's pretty easy. My mouth was getting really dry. But this one's pretty easy. Not as hard as twins. Usually, if you can pass the twins, you can get past this. Watch a video on it. Next is Behoff, or Halls of Fabrication. Fabrication Sheath. This is pretty much Sanctified Silver, but patchy and gold. Or bronze, I guess. This one can be challenging because it requires a lot more DPS than this one. Also, the first boss, almost every boss, even like the spider, is a pub stomper here. I'm not gonna go overall. Just know there's chickens. The chickens have to be. You can either split or you can stack. You're gonna have to have purge at least 2 healers and maybe even a couple DPSs. An off tank wants, I believe, bring it to the left of the room, and then the tank is gonna turn it back from the group, from the entrance, and yeah, people have to purge. It's very important. If you don't purge, you're gonna die. There's also gonna be snipers. It's very important. During snipers, you roll dodge. Do not block. Okay. Next is, I'm not gonna go over this. I'm not gonna go over this one because these are just veteran. You can pub these, honestly. If you get a lucky group. Same thing with this one. Sanctified, and same thing with this one. Sanctified Silver. This this comes from Jesus. Asylum Sanctorum +2. You're not pubbing your way through this one. This requires a pretty dedicated group. It's not overly difficult. This is also where you get the polymorph. I have not yet gotten. Yeah, pretty chillin'. It's one of my favorite skins in the game. It's the one I rock with this character right now. Sometimes I'll switch the colors, more gold, and rock the Fabrication Sheath, but right now, that. Couple mechanics. Most people die from the kite, the jump, and the breath in the cone. Okay? He's gonna jump. The kind of huge thing is gonna jump. Boom, boom, boom. This is also on just +0. You go to the back, or if you're kiting more to the entrance, you go this side. Very important. Felms, I think there's gonna be Otis. I forgot their two boss names. Felms, I think that's one of his names. He's the bad guy. I think Felms is gonna have a cone. If you get the cone, do not go left and right. Only go forward and back and hold block. It's not gonna do that much damage to you personally, but if you are moving like a damn fly in the hot summer when it's humid after it rains, you're gonna get people killed, right? So don't do that. There's also gonna be protectors. Your tank or one of your DPSs that are the raid leads should be calling the protectors out if they're not lazy asses. Yeah. Kill those protectors. You also want to get Felms down relatively low eventually as well. You want to kill him. You won't kill him, but he'll kind of just cuddle up for a little bit of time. If you have Asylum Sanctorum Tracker, if you're on PC, if you're not on PC, rip. If you have Asylum Sanctorum, Asylum Tracker, there's actually the other one that I use. It's not popping up for some reason. And also Elms Markers is going to give you your numbers when people assign numbers. So if you're on number 6, usually 7 is War Machine, which comes from, you guessed it, VHOF. And the reason, by the way, I'll give you a little rundown of why people run War Machine in number 7. You don't have to, but it's in most trials, in most groups they do because it's good. I'm gonna show you why. So if you go down to War Machine here, the 5 items, when you use an ultimate ability while in combat, you and your closest 5 group members within 28 meters gain Minor Slayer for 1 second per 10 ultimate spent, increasing your damage done to dungeon, trial, and arena monsters. I can't pronounce that, by 10%. So your trial set will only give you 5. I don't believe this stacks, so I think you only get 10, so you don't get 15. I don't believe it stacks. It may. I'm stupid. I don't know. If you know, comment. I'm kind of interested if it does. I could just ask in my Discord though. Well, their Discord. Really good looking skin. I really like it. Next is Seaborn Silver. This is from Counter's Aegis. This is just a veteran trial completion. I'm not gonna go over it too much. It's just Conqueror. Soul Shriven, you get this from either 2 ways. It used to be a lot harder because of a very rare drop. I think it's a DPS race still. You get this from Imperial Sewers, so good luck with that if you're doing it that way because nobody plays that shit. It's a PvP and PvE kind of zone. I got it. I did not get it like that because I hate the Imperial Sewers because I find no one to really play it with. To be honest, that's the main reason. Yeah, it can be required doing that. You can read it. You have eyeballs. You can read, hopefully. Next is Sunfire Icefire. This is pretty much a reskin of Crystal Frost, and honestly, I don't think it looks as good. I think I prefer Crystal Frost, honestly. It's a little bit lighter, and I wish like it would look really cool if. I know it's Sunfire Icefire, but instead like the arms and legs were the entire skin, and then the rest of the frost where the arms and legs was. That would be really cool looking. It'd be kind of the same reskin, but it'll look better in my eyes. Very easy trial to just complete. You probably pub this and be fine. In a decent group. That's how I did it. Taskmaster's banner once again. I pubbed it and I got it. Okay. Void Patronus. This can be a very difficult skin or a very easy skin depending on where you are, what build you have, and if you know the mechanics. This comes from one of the 2 solo arenas in the game. Also, I'm gonna have a little rant on this. Okay, you should really, if you never have done Veteran Maelstrom Arena, this is where you get some of the best in slot backbar weapons, like the Maelstrom Arena's Perfected Inferno Staff. You can get the lightning too. It doesn't really matter. Wink, wink. The Great Sword and the bow. Right, those are the 3 main weapons people go for. There's probably others as well. Do it. Same thing with Vetatron Hollows. Just try it. Get the skin. It looks really nice. It's kind of like this Venom skin. You can also get a really cool dye on this if you just do it on normal. There's a couple of things you have to do. It takes a little bit of grinding, but it's pretty fun. I'm actually starting to do it. So, yeah. It's called Void Pitch, I believe. Next is G Mothra Shadow. This comes from Cloudburst +3. So, yeah. Couple mechanics. There's the Flare, there's the Permafrost. You should really work your way up with +0, +2, +0, +1, +2, and then +3. And then you won't have a problem with it. It's pretty difficult though. It's going to take some practice to get. That's my skin collection. I know it's kind of half-assed, I'll maybe make an updated video when I make all of them. So yeah. Enjoy.